Look, mom, no hands. If this works, the music of the Marble Machine 3 will be so much better. Okay, wait, why is the music going to be so much better on the new machine? Well, on the first machines, I used a hand crank to power it, so I only had one single hand to play all the music with. And checking human anatomy, it turns out most of us have actually two hands. So that got me thinking, what if I could play music on the new Marble Machine with two hands? Wow! In today's video, I'm going to try this. Instead of the hand crank, I'm building pedals to power the machine with my feet. If this works, I can play music with both hands, and that will make the music so much better. This machine takes my uneven power input and plays a perfect beat on the big wheel over there. Part of the magic of this machine is this weight under the table. When the weight is falling, it drives the main wheel, and you can actually see the weight falling on the meter here. The machine plays way tighter than a human. The blue audio here is a human BPM. You can see it's all over the place, and the red audio is from the machine. And today, I don't want to power it with my hands anymore. I want to build pedals so I can actually power this machine with my feet and also play music at the same time. Now I just have to drill some holes, put some screws in. I'm using a threading rod as a hinge. And I'm also making this front section where I can put screws so I can control how high and how low the pedals can go. So yeah, these are the basic pedals. It doesn't feel rock starry just right yet. But soon. I need the pedals to lift themselves, so I'm gonna try to use this exercise band. That looks about right. Haha, perfect. If I stand further back, I have less power input. I want to get rid of the noise, so I stole these paper towels from my office neighbors. Perfect. The pedals are done and they are majestic. Now I'm going to connect them to the machine. To connect the pedals with the drivetrain, I'm going to disconnect this first shaft and remove the parallelogram pedals. And I need to do an upgrade on this shaft. You can see that there's a lot of tape here. The problem was that the gear was actually slipping on the shaft. So I need to key this gear a little bit better. And the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to add some washers to these tightening screws. That allows me to clamp harder. And then I'm just putting some super glue, and we hope that's it. It's going to be so interesting to see how easy it is to play music while pedaling. If it turns out to be as easy as I think it will be, that is super promising for the Marble Machine. I made these 4 levers, and now I need to come up with a way to attach the levers to the bearing somehow. Cutting some kind of bracket here. Here is the little groove that holds the one-way bearing. You see that all the edges are sharp now. I always do this little fillet on all the edges when I 3D print. That makes the parts just come out so much nicer. So there's a notch in the bearing, and then I'm gonna line up this ridge with that notch, and that should key properly. Lining up the notch. Now I can reassemble this. So now if I lift here and press down, that should start a gear train, and it does. The long arms gives me a huge amount of leverage, much more than before. I have to be a bit careful to not overdo it. The final step is to connect the pedals with these sticks to the levers. So I'm putting screws at both ends. I'm having so much fun just whacking things together without thinking about like super precision. Let's see if this works. Yes. It works. Of course it works. I built it. Have I ever built anything that didn't work? Exactly. I see on the lift that we have to start lifting. Yes, the drumstick is lifting. It works! I can't keep up with it really. With a short parallelogram lever, we had a lot of rotations in the grease. With these long levers, I have a lot of leverage, a lot of force, but a very tiny rotation. So that is a bit of an issue in this design. I think it's hard for me to really get a lot of speed. I'm falling behind. Okay, I'm catching it. I know it looks stupid. I don't think it is stupid. I think the initial shaft should be rotating really, really slowly. I'm falling behind. I just have to try to catch up. I'm getting cardio. What should I log my cardio as? Stairmaster! Save. I need to pedal a bit too fast for it to be physically comfort in this configuration. And I just had a great realization, which is why prototyping is so important. Let's check some gear train math, shall we? Really quickly, but this is important. First pair of compound gears is 64 teeth and 12 teeth, which means that the second shaft is turning 5.3 times while the first one is turning 1. So the second pair of gears has the same tooth count, 64 and 12. So the relationship from the pedal shaft to the flywheel is 5.3 times 5.3. That's the compounding factor, which is 28. When the shaft that I'm pedaling has turned 1 revolution, the flywheel has turned 28. And what I just realized is that the first shaft, the shaft I'm pedaling, is turning too quickly. That's why it's hard to keep up. When the shaft goes really fast, the one-way bearing needs to turn super fast to get a grip on the shaft and actually put power into the shaft. I need to pedal like a maniac and it doesn't look cool. We can't have that. Looking cool is what we're all about. Is it possible for me to lower the speed of this shaft? Yes, with more gears. I have a fever and the only cure is more gears. I'm just like the rest of you. I put my pants on one leg at a time. The only difference is when they're on, I make gears. Okay. The cool thing now with a compounding gear train is that if we put in another set of compound gears before the flywheel, we get an exponential effect. So the third pair of compound gears is 32 teeth to 12 teeth, which is 2.6 gear ratio. So now we multiply our 28 gear ratio with 2.6 and we have 74. When my pedal shaft does 1 turn, the flywheel will make 74 turns. Let's try this. I'm removing the entire flywheel shaft and instead I'm putting this extra compound gear pair in, and then I'm adding the flywheel shaft to that gear train. Will the 16 kilo weight be able to back drive the flywheel at this insane gear ratio? Let's find out. The flywheel doesn't start by itself, which is not surprising at all. I'm gonna help it. Will the flywheel accelerate or not? The flywheel is trying to accelerate. I don't know if it will succeed. I'm going to add a bit of weight. There we go. I think it is accelerating. Yeah. I think it is accelerating. It's accelerating so smoothly. We're in the danger zone. Danger zone. All I want now is to get to the danger zone so I can play the danger zone. Okay, soon. Soon. Wait for it. Wait for it. And I can super comfortably stand here and just sway back and forth, and I'm powering the machine. I know it doesn't look cool, but it is cool. It's so much better with the new gear ratio. Let's check if the computer thinks it's tight. I'm using the beat mapping function in Logic. I think all this is gonna be acceleration. Yeah, check this out. Perfect. This is the super smooth acceleration curve here. Perfect. This is where I panicked and helped the flywheel manually and gave it more power than the system wanted. So then it's decelerating for some time. We're at 153 BPM for 3 minutes straight without veering away from 153 BPM. It's crazy tight. It's just tight. I get this result when I'm just fooling around, trying it for the first time. Yes, I solved it. I solved it. Oh, that feels so good. After working on a program for 8 years, to really feel that you solved it, it needs to be like this. It needs to be like, yes, it's working. It's working. Like, I'm just realizing how easy it's going to be to play music with the Modern Machine 3. This music tightness meter is the best thing I've ever built, and I'm gonna make it even better. I have a super fun idea on how to make the meter give me more information faster. So I start with a master sketch, and then I revolve this shape from the master sketch. And here I revolve the second body, and I'm making a coil in it. Let's print. Okay, so the prints came out fine, and here's all the parts I need. I made the print pointy, so this small piece meets the inner ring of the bearing. And then the pointer is the nut from the other side. So this part is also only meeting the inner side of the bearing. We're gonna take the Bowden cable and insert it here. And at the end of the cable we have these stops, and the stop should fit pretty good in there. And then we take a second cable from the other direction. Oh, this is going to be so great. I think around here. Yes! So yeah, the new pointer can rotate much more, which will give me faster info. I'm connecting the Bowden cable to the carrier here. First Bowden comes from below, but then the second one has to be the opposite direction. So I'm gonna mount them on the top. Let's check how this looks from the front. Oh, it starts to move. Yes! That is cool. I thought the small pointer would move faster, but this is still great. This looks cool, but I think we can do better. Me and Wilson and Hannes want to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone backing these videos. Thanks to your support, I can almost have Hannes full-time this year, and Hannes is helping me putting some behind-the-scenes videos out for the Wintergatan patrons and the Wintergatan YouTube members. Thank you all for your support. It means the world to me. Thank you. Perhaps I am a tinkerer. This was admittedly mostly for fun. I'm having fun. I was hoping that this would spin faster. These two are kind of redundant. I don't like this at all. It looks ugly and this meter is moving too slowly. You know, in movies when airplanes crash and the height meter is going like vroom, that's how fast I want this to move. So what do? I made new gears. Let's fix this. Let's remove all the old stuff, and I'm starting by adding the first gear, and then I also have this second gear, and we're gonna use compound gears again. I'm not using bearings. The gears are rotating around the flat spot of the screws, so everything goes together really simply here. And then I'm drawing some cool graphics because, let's face it, I'm a tinkerer and I'm having fun. Let's see if this is better. This turned out ugly. I'm gonna redo. I'm way too old for drawing in perfect circles, so I made this custom compass. Let's go. Yes! I love how this looks, but it doesn't move well. Let me show you. Because of the backlash here, the weight of this pointer wants to fall down like that. So when I'm lifting you will see the pointer struggle on that part and then fall down like that. It doesn't look good at all. So instead I made a balanced meter. Did I solve it? Oh, it looks better though. Yeah, that looks cool. I'll take it. When the wheel goes clockwise, the weight is lifting, and when the wheel goes anti-clockwise, the weight is falling. Wilson, did you lubricate the gears as I asked you to? Okay. I could never play guitar before. Now I can play guitar. Like, wow! Like, that's important stuff. I made a little test melody to show that I can play music box and glockenspiel at the same time. Let's see how this goes. If you say xylophone, you get 1 minus point. That's how this works, okay? It's a glockenspiel. Xylophone is wood. It's like the Little Mermaid. That's xylophone. We don't do that here. I don't want to hear it. I have 2 hands now, okay? I'm twice as good as I've ever been. I've lived like this before. En, två, svenska såklart. En, två, tre, ja. I believe in this. Actually, like it says on my t-shirt, you know? Zoom in on that sucker, you know? Good job, Wilson. Yes. I believe. I believe. I believe again. Wow.